So the branching off of the Kyrie to the Mavs, does Kevin Durant now go to the Nets and say like I want out? I don't want to try and go to battle with this roster.
I mean, didn't he already?
He did, but that was before Kyrie left.
That's true. That
Because it
is
was
true.
whenever Kyrie was like, okay, fine, I'll come back on the 1 year deal. That's whenever Durant was like, okay,
That's true.
we'll go
I,
this
I
season.
mean, if I'm KD, yes,
I would too.
because obviously something ain't right in Brooklyn. Like, I would want to try somewhere else.
Yeah,
Eh,
I don't want to go to battle with my second best player being Ben Simmons,
Nope. Well,
which
Spencer Dinwiddie.
he's not their second best player, but you know what I mean. The other guy that's making money on that team being Ben Simmons would scare me to death if I was Durant.
True. And then, I mean, how do you feel if you're Spencer Dinwiddie when you hear that they were actually trying to shop you already?
I
It's like
mean,
that's the
it's
business, I
just
know,
the
but
nature of the NBA when you're a guy making 18 to 20 million, like you're just a valuable piece if nothing else because of your contract.
true. That's true. But no, Katie, apparently they want to try and keep him and build around him. But if
Well,
I'm
of
him, I don't
course.
know if I want that. Um,
No. I don't. I mean,
and apparently the number one person or the team that I saw that was like the front runners to try and make a move if KD were available were the Phoenix Suns. And that would be
yeah,
kind of nasty, but it would depend on who they'd have to give up to be able to
it
get him.
Aiton would probably be the centerpiece of that.
And they've been trying to kind of get out of
So
that anyway.
they'd
It
definitely be
seems
losing some
like
size there.
true.
But I mean, I guess Kevin Durant's a 7 footer, so you could technically, he could be your size. I don't know how much he wants to be, technically the center on a team
I don't think so.
at the age that he is, but he does give you some size. I don't know. I don't know where he would end up.
Dang.
There's lots of teams that have space. People are talking about the Pelicans. I don't know if the Pelicans would do that. You know, throw Ingram and a ton of picks at Brooklyn, but because I mean, then your two best players are Durant, who's been hurt as often as not the last couple of years, and Zion,
True.
who is hurt more often than he's healthy.
True. Yeah, no, that's not a good mix.
I don't
I
know how
mean,
happy I'd be about that.
well, that's what makes me a little bit worried about Kyrie and a little bit too because he's only played like 100 and something games over the last
Yeah,
3 seasons.
a lot of the Kyrie thing is just Kyrie
That's
being
true.
Kyrie,
That's
just
true.
being like, I'm gonna
It's
go
still
over here
missing
for a
games.
week. Like I'm just gonna leave and I'm gonna go over here for a week and I'm not gonna tell you why or where I'm at. I'll be back later. That's what Kyrie
Right.
does. And that's the
Uh,
risk with Kyrie.
as we're talking about the Nets, though, I just get an update. Cam Thomas just dropped 47,
I was watching
and
part of that game.
just the other night he dropped 41. So, I mean, that's positive.
Yeah. I don't know how much you want to rely on that.
Well, definitely don't want to rely on it at all. Not until it gets a little bit more proven. But I mean, that's definitely a good sign for the future for them. So,
but
but I I, I don't know where Katie. I
it,
mean,
it's an interesting situation.
it's weird
Very
because now
interesting.
it's starting to be like, well, the only place KD was able to get it done was Golden State, where he had Steph, Clay, and Draymond, and
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to blame him for this Brooklyn thing. Like, you
true,
know, they
that's true.
tried, he
But they
tried.
he got Kyrie Irving in there. He got James Harden to come over there. They had a good team, dude. That
Yeah.
if they could have all three made that work, that would have been a really good team. We talked about it before before the playoffs. We thought they were going to be one of the better teams to, and then they get swept by Boston.
Yeah.
That's where
It's
Katie's going.
to
He's
Boston.
going, yeah,
Yeah, I don't think Boston. I think Boston's okay. I think
yeah,
they're
I
okay
agree.
with what they've got. I don't think they need to make a KD move. That's a desperation thing there.
Yep, that's true.
I don't know, man. Did you see LeBron's kind of throwing a fit about this Kyrie thing?
A little bit, yeah.
Kind of seems like he's throwing a fit a little bit.
But see, the funny thing to me is the headline is maybe it's me. But like literally the GM of the Nets straight said we were not trading him to the Lakers. Like that's where
Yeah.
he wanted to go and it
Like
wasn't going to happen.
they would have had to been overwhelmed. Like the Nets, there's no way they take the Lakers offer over the Mavericks offer because they're trying to keep Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant doesn't care about those two Lakers draft picks that they're going to get, and he doesn't want to play with Russell Westbrook.
Yeah, no Russell Westbrook and then not only that but then they wanted like Austin Reeves and he's
Yeah, they
actually
wanted
a
all of the
decent
young
young
players. They wanted all the
right.
young players on the Lakers to make it palatable because they then needed to take those picks and young players and turn them around into something else to rebuild this roster on the fly within a couple of days. And it's like, or we could just take what the Mavs are offering and like have a couple of decent players come in with a draft
Yeah,
pick.
a
We can still
plug-in
make a
point guard,
move.
a 3-and-D guy ready to play right
Yeah.
now.
And a draft
Uh,
pick that we can try and ship somewhere else to, get another player in here to help
and
KD.
those guys that were really scouting for 2029, now we can take our pick. That shit's crazy.
Go to everybody go to the middle schools, start looking at eighth graders. Not like that. Not like that.
Joyce, watch yourself. uh, so before we move on from basketball, I did have a couple other things though. I didn't know if you wanted to
I've
throw
got one
anything else
thing.
out.
I've got one
Okay.
thing.
You
Um,
let me go ahead with one then real quick. I just
all
wanted
right.
to give a little update. I'm glad he wasn't playing tonight, but we'll see if it happens tomorrow. LeBron is 36 points away from the all-time scoring record.
Yeah.
So we'll keep an update on that. If that happens, I'll probably find some cool stats and stuff about LeBron and his long career to this point. Um, so yeah, just a little update on that. So
Did you see the brawl the other day?
yes. So that's actually what else I have written down. And my
I
question
figured.
is, I did not like they have the sponsors on the jerseys.
Hmm.
Since when was it the UFC? When did the UFC start sponsoring
I don't
NBA, dude?
know.
Because it seems like so there were. I mean, the second one that wasn't necessarily as much of a brawl. I'm assuming you're talking about the Austin Rivers and Mo Bamba one,
Yeah.
because that one was more of a brawl.
Yeah.
But then we also had Dylan Brooks hit Donovan Mitchell in the nuts.
It happens.
That one was definitely flagrant. He did it on purpose, but apparently they have a little bit of a past, and they
Yeah.
were Donovan Mitchell was still shit talking in the press conference,
You
which
think
was
it was a
fun.
flagrant one or a flagrant two?
A flagrant to the balls.
Oh, you think you got both of them or just one?
Probably just one actually,
Okay.
but who knows? We'll have to ask Donovan for that one.
Yeah. Just shoot him a text real quick.
Right. Oh man, but no, the more fun one, I guess it depends on how you look at it. That sounds kind of crazy, but I thought it
The
was more
funnier
fun.
one,
Yeah. Um.
the more interesting, entertaining one.
So you go ahead.
So, Austin Rivers, who I didn't know was on the Timberwolves. Uh,
I'll be honest,
he's a
especially when I saw the jerseys, I even thought Nuggets. They even kind of looked like Nuggets jerseys for a
yeah.
second.
Just
But then I was like, oh
every
wait,
year
no, he
it's
is on the Wolves.
every year there are certain NBA players that it's an adventure every year to find out what team they're on, and like I'm not gonna look them up or anything, but I'm just gonna like see like, oh, he's playing for that team now, huh? Cool. And Austin Rivers is one of those guys, and so he misses a 3-point shot in the corner, and Mo Bamba says something, and oh man, who was it? Markel
Markel
Fultz.
Fultz. Yeah.
Markel Fultz, like the look on his face of
It's
just like
great. Ooh.
bitch.
Ooh.
He said that.
Yeah. It was great, dude.
absolutely priceless. That is going to be a meme forever. His
Mm-hmm.
face. And
I agree.
just anyway, next time he comes down, they come down the court. He and Austin Rivers and Mo Bamba get into it, and fisticuffs were thrown, and people end up
Yes.
rolling around on the floor, and people get exited out the game. And
Yes, multiple.
yeah, it was 5 ejections, I think it was.
I think it was 5 ejections. There ended up being 3 suspensions.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so did you end up hearing what was said?
So I saw something about him saying that it wasn't high school anymore.
So Markel Fultz goes to Twitter and says all he said was this ain't high school no mo. And apparently that's all Mo Bamba said.
I doubt it.
From Austin Rivers' reaction, not only in the game but also in the press conference, the way he responded was saying like,
Yeah,
"I'm not going to repeat what he said." And if it was just that, unless you're just trying to cover up that it was just that, and you're
and
embarrassed that you went
yeah,
over
you're
and confronted him for it.
trying to not look like a bitch.
But I mean, regardless, he walks right over there, and Mo Bamba just stands up and nope, not today.
Yeah, and I guess it's pretty ballsy for a guy, you know, Austin Rivers size
Yeah,
to be jawing off and trying to fight somebody Mo Bamba size.
definitely. He did say after the game, he was like, "Look, I'm not a fighter. I'm not usually a guy to do something like that. But when you say some stuff to me like that I feel like is disrespect, I'm gonna come say something to you because I'm not gonna let it just fly." And I mean, I
Yeah,
guess respect to that, but to do it the way he did it, in my opinion, was kind of dumb. I mean, literally in play, going up to a guy on the bench, like,
yeah,
come on, dude, that wasn't smart.
you gotta
But then
handle your
Mo
business
Bamba
better.
shouldn't have done what he did either. But I
Yeah, you can't
mean,
leave the bench. You can't leave the bench to go get
no,
into an altercation with somebody.
no.
Like that's
Man,
what
what's with
that's
leaving the bench lately too? James Harden jumped off the bench in the middle of play like
yeah.
2 weeks ago or something,
I
and
mean, that's the shit that got like was it who all was it? It was Barbosa
oh
and
yeah,
Boris Diaw and all them got, and it was Amari Stoudemire too, I think, where they all got suspended because they left the bench.
right, I remember that.
And that was a playoff game
Mm,
that they all got
yep,
suspended for. It was like a game 6. Like it was a big playoff game
yep.
just for leaving the bench. And like these guys are leaving the bench now. Okay, maybe we need to get a little maybe we get a handle on this
Get a
thing from the
like the NFL has the coach
the
that
get back
keeps the coach. Yeah, the
the
get back
the
coach.
get back coach.
They need a get back coach in the NBA.
Yeah, just have somebody sit behind each player, just like hands ready to go, and they start to leave.
Yep.
No, come here,
Hey,
come
I'll do it. I'll do it.
here.
I mean, yeah, you don't even have to pay me. I'll just get to go
Right.
to every basketball game. It'll be dope.
Yeah.
um,
Um,
but no, so Mo Bamba starts swinging, and then Austin Rivers swings a little bit, and then Jalen Suggs comes in and basically like tackles Austin Rivers, and then somehow Mo Bamba gets on top of him, and then Austin Rivers gets on top of Mo Bamba, and then there's like a chokehold going on, and
yeah,
dude, it was it
it
was
was
a brawl.
wild.
Like that was about as brawly as you get in the NBA
Yeah, these
nowadays.
days, yeah.
Uh,
It
and
it was
so
like a 90s comeback right there
exactly,
for a minute.
yeah, it was a throwback. They were having throwback night. That's what it was.
Right, that's what it
We
was.
we were confused. But Mo Bamba gets suspended 4 games because obviously he came off the bench and was actually swinging fisticuffs. Rivers gets 3 games because he also was swinging and kind of went off the court onto the bench. So
Yeah,
we got one guy coming off the bench, one guy going on the bench, and then Jalen Suggs gets suspended 1 game for escalating the situation.
yeah, just kind of being involved.
Yeah, which
Uh,
honestly, looking back, it almost looked like he was just trying to get them away from each other, but he did it very
like
aggressively.
yeah, he was the can't we just all get along guy, but he was a little too overeager
Yes.
in the way that he did it.
Yeah, because he didn't try and jump back in there or anything. Like he just
No,
tried to end it, and then it didn't end. And got worse.
Yeah.
So, but no,
It
that was kind
it's
of
like
fun.
when two dogs are fighting and you try and get in the middle of them to break it up and you end up getting bit by both of them. It's
Exactly.
kind of like that. It's
Yep.
kind of like that.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so I did see like there was a thread that I was reading that day where somebody asked like, "What do you think Mo Bamba said?" The best response that I saw on that
Oh no.
that's why your daddy cut you.
Oh Lord. It's funny because a minute ago when you were talking about him, like, oh yeah, I forgot he was on the Wolves, and like he's one of the guys that just like bounces around, and I want to be like, yeah, now that he's not tied to his daddy no more, but I didn't say it,
Right,
and now, now you
right.
say that. Oh, that's pretty funny. That is a good one. I can't even imagine. There were probably a lot of good ones for that.
Oh yeah, there were. That's the one that sticks out in my mind, but because that was my favorite one.
That's great.
But
Uh,
yeah,
I thought it was funny too, though. I think Austin Rivers said like the only reason people know who you exist is because some old rap song. It was
oh
like,
Mo Bamba.
dang, yeah.
I mean, you
Thought
could
that was
just go back to the well of only reason people know who you are is because your daddy.
yeah, true. I mean, that's definitely true. So that was a fun little brawl between people that
Yeah,
I personally don't really care about too much. But
yeah. Didn't expect to be talking about Austin Rivers and Mo Bamba on this podcast.
me neither. Me neither. We will remember that now. Episode 53.